And we are live. Hello, everybody, and thanks for your patience. We were actually just testing something with the Pro, and it kept us busy for a couple more minutes than we would have liked to been. So anyway, welcome to episode 12 of Scoot Scoot Fridays. We've got myself and Awa today. We've had a long week. Just got back from China, where we supervised the production of the Apollo Pro beta batch. We got to see the all new Apollo Light, which will be unveiling over the next little while. And we even got a little preview of the City 2023. So a lot of developments, productive trip, not a whole ton of sleep, but we're really happy to be back. A little fun fact, I was allergic to peanuts. He literally ate ramen and granola bars for a week straight. So if you've ever wondered, can you sustain yourself for a week off of fruits, granola bars, and ramen? The answer is yes. So there's a fun fact of the week for you. We have a lot of questions to get through today. Originally, the plan was to talk about the Explorer that we announced yesterday. That said, there's been a lot of controversy around the Reddit post that we left on the way back from China. So we have a lot to cover. And thank you everyone for joining. So it's great to see a couple of familiar names, Justin, Austin, and a few other peeps that we have become familiar with. So we'll get into all of your questions, but let's start with the Explorer, because that is the biggest news that came out this week. So Awa, why don't you give us a little preview of what were you thinking about? What was the inspiration? Why this, bizarre dual deck form factor? What's going on? Why are we changing things that are working?
I don't think they were working really well. The Alt Explorer was a solid scooter, but just like all the old models, there was a lot of things we wanted to do. So the Explorer started 2 years ago. We had this prototype since, I don't know, September maybe of last year. And like I said in the video, we were just waiting to have like our patent to reveal it, because as soon as you reveal something, the time starts for the patent for that application. But anyway, the Explorer, we wanted to do this one in at first it was single motor, then we decided to do dual motor, and we wanted to do something better than the last one. So we wanted something with better suspension. This is why this one has hydraulic suspension. The famous swappable battery, I think it's the request that was asked the most over all our scooters, and I never wanted to do it before, because the system, how it's designed, a swappable battery, it's always creating issue. Before we were selling Segways, and they had the swappable battery-ish on the stem, and that was a disaster on their side. So I was always traumatized by it. And this form factor of having your 2 feet like this, allowed a new type of design for swappable, where it's coming out of the old frame really easily. So yeah, we did that. It's a 52 volt 8 AH for now. And we are looking to put the 13 AH with the little bump, like you mentioned. And yeah, you can buy it on the website, additional battery. Maybe we're going to be offering some kind of combo, 8 with 13 or 13, whatever. But basically with 2 batteries, it would be a 52 volt 26 AH, which is a lot. It's more than the Phantom. And in terms of watt hour, it's a lot more than all the other competitors that are doing this form factor. There's a Tor that is doing something similar, but Tor, they don't have any suspension. And we tried it at the Micromobility show, and this scooter is just a disaster. All its handling, I hate it. And when I tried the Tor before we got the first prototype of the Explorer, and I was so worried that our prototype was going to be the same way, because it was the first time I was trying the side platforms like this. And no, it's handling better than all the scooters we have. It's incredible.
Center of gravity changes something, right, about how you ride.
Yeah, the height of the platform and where it's positioned, like right in the middle of the scooter, a little bit towards the back, it's making it's fantastic. It's super agile when you ride with it. And yeah, the rest of the scooter is basically the Pro downsized. We use all the great components that we finally cracked, like the IoT, the folding mechanism, our new throttle, the phone holder, the lights, the horn, the speaker. It's all coming from the Pro that we're able to adapt. So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's component that we know they're already tested, that we're going to put on the Explorer, and same thing for the Light.
Yeah, and like Awa said, we're getting pretty close to the second version of the Explorer. So we just wanted to share the first version with the community, let you in on what we've been working on for the last little while. And now in fairly quick succession, we'll be unveiling the V2 and the subsequent versions. I think the exciting part about this scooter is that so few people have tried riding a scooter with their feet side by side. So we read your comments, we read the responses, and it's very polarizing. People either loved it or they hated it. And I think we had a similar reaction to it initially. We didn't quite know how it was going to pan out. It was a bit of an experiment, but then having tried the prototype that we have here in the office, it, like Alwaz said, just completely changed our experience of riding a scooter. And the Explorer was always about one thing. It was about going for long rides and adventures and exploring, right? So the whole scooter is designed with one thing in mind, which is how do we keep you going for as long as possible on a scooter. That's why we have the swappable battery. That's also why we went with this far more comfortable and ergonomic riding stance, because we believe that if you're going to be putting a lot of miles on a scooter, it makes sense for you to be more comfortable, not having to shuffle your feet, change riding stances. And then like Alwaz said, there's something about the agility of it too that makes it a far more intuitive riding experience. Like you actually start to use your body weight sort of in the way that you'd be, I guess when you surf and snowboard, right? So there's that aspect of leaning, which yes, you experience on the normal scooter, but this is completely different. I guess maybe an EUC would be a better metaphor or analogy for what it felt like.
And there's something, people that say that side stance like this is like dangerous or whatever. I think I rode more scooter than anyone I know, and it's not like standing like this. It's the most comfortable way of standing on a scooter by far. It's just not natural to be like standing straight and your whole body like this. Okay, that's not natural. And people say, well, in skateboard, that's how you do, and it's fine. Well, yes, but you have ski that you stand like this, and it's a lot better. And that's why people usually start with ski. And for me, I realized it. Usually after I do long rides, I do maybe 30 kilometers with scooter. I always do the same loop around my place. And every time I come back, my lower back is like hurting a little bit, but to a point that I don't even notice it anymore because I'm just so used to it. But when I got on the Explorer, that's the first thing I noticed. I got off of the scooter and my feet, the bottom of my feet was not burning. My back was completely fine. I was feeling just as good as when I started. I was like, okay, damn. And that's without a rear suspension where you feel all the bump in your back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just a better way to stand on a scooter.
And maybe an interesting question to ask you the audience, would be to see if you'd be interested in having two versions of the Explorer. So the one that we're currently designing is a front suspension, rear suspension, 52 volt, 8 or 13H battery. We're making some tweaks to the stem, so it's much more narrow and compact as well. But we've been toying with the idea of potentially downgrading the whole design and making it no suspension in the front, no suspension in the rear, kind of following in the footsteps of Tour and the other, pure electric and stuff like that. We also got to see the scooter on the trip, which was pretty interesting. And reducing the speed, right? Because I think if you go no suspension, you probably don't want to be going up to 50 kilometers an hour. So let us know what you think of that. If we would have been able to bring the cost down for, let's say, a 48 volt version of the scooter, still a decent range, but really focusing on kind of cost, would that be an interesting option for you? Or would you rather have it, in a 52 volt configuration, dual suspension, more power, more comfort, a little bit more weight probably too? So I'd be curious to see your thoughts. In terms of questions, okay, we have Dr. RD Bay. If the Pro is an S-Class Benz, then why did you put its front end on the A-Class Explorer? Scrap the front end on the Explorer and start from scratch. You need to be real on your commitment on the virtual design. Copying, pasting will make sense. You haven't started beta testing. That makes you look like you're heading in the cash grab direction. Is it really worth the convenience? So I think what you're alluding to is why are we reusing components across scooters? The reality is that, like Alwaz said, once we crack a component, like the folding mechanism, like the phoneless display, once the dot display has been made available, we have deep commitment and deep belief that these are the best parts on the market. And we want to have those critical parts be available to all of our customers across price points. Really, the main difference between the Pro, the Explorer, and the Lite in the future will be weight and size, price point, and the amount of power and specs that you're getting, right? But a lot of the kind of tech features, if you will be available across the entire portfolio. That said, we are changing the stem and handlebar of the Explorer. So I don't know if, have we shown it to anyone yet, the most recent version? No. Okay. So let's keep it that way. We'll save it for the V2 walkthrough, but Dre, RD Bay, rest assured there will be a different handlebar on the Explorer than we have on the Pro.
And also, all our components are tested for 10,000 kilometers. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. Once you're able to do it with one, well, you try to keep it for the other one. It takes like hundreds of hours, literally, to test it for this amount of kilometers.
And the cost involved in opening up modes for additional parts, right? Like, again, once we crack something that works, we want to be consistent about it across the entire lineup. Hey guys, welcome. I just bought a Phantom 2023, won't connect to my Apollo app. When I select Bluetooth, it fails.
Click on, you're probably just trying to connect as if the scooter was already added. Click on the name at the top of the screen. You have the speed, there's a little icon. Click there, click on add a new scooter, and then you're going to see it appear. And make sure it's not already connected with a new phone, which in your case I doubt it is. But yeah, you're probably just clicking on the Bluetooth icon and it's looking for another one.
Yeah, Bluetooth is just for if you've previously connected to the scooter, so you have to add it first.
We're changing the flow. It's going to be more intuitive soon.
How does the Explorer compare to the City Pro 2022/3 July version?
So 48 Explorer, it's 52 volt versus 48 volt. It's going to be a rubber suspension versus a spring suspension, and there's all the great aspect of the Pro, like the crazy light, the horn, the speaker, the IoT, the swappable battery. That's a big deal. The smart BMS. It's gonna go faster because of the 52 volt. There is more torque as well. It's the Mach 1 controller inside instead of just our regular controller. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest of the self-healing, it's also there.
The unique thing about the Explorer is really how powerful it is in as compact of a package as it is, while taking into consideration all the features that make it a great option for long distance riding. So we're kind of checking off 3 boxes here. With the City, it's a bit more, I guess, conventional scooter by all definitions and standards. And our goal is ultimately for the Explorer to sit above the City. So City would be kind of the second least powerful scooter in the lineup. We have the Air/Light at the beginning. Then you get into the City, and then you get into the Explorer. And also with the multiple battery packs you can purchase, in theory, you could have more performance than the Phantom if you rack up enough of the batteries, right? Maybe not in terms of the top speed, but in terms of range, definitely. Okay, so do an insane scooter limited edition, like 2,000 watt dual motors, dual battery possibilities are endless. Securing funding via Kickstarter and pre-order, just a thought.
We could do a 72 volt Pro like that. Their controller could fit that. At least 60 now and a little bit of tweaks for 72 volt. But like we said before, it's just not something we are looking for. It's there's enough good high power scooter, like there's a crazy Dualtron that go at 120 kilometers per hour. We're chasing an experience, and that's not the experience that we're chasing.
There's a bunch of brands that are already doing it. We're trying to move in the direction of user features, things that actually enhance your riding experience, not just one spec that makes the whole product, right? Like that's, I think, part of the reason that the Segway GT2 debate was so heated, because I think Segway does one thing really well. They have the best in class acceleration and you can't really beat them on that. But I think where we win is literally in every other category. And that's what we were trying to communicate in that post. But clearly the community didn't agree. So long story short, we're moving away from just pure performance focus and instead moving towards features. Weight limit of the Explorer?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm aiming for 330, like same thing as the Pro basically, but we need to. It's too early, but we're aiming for 300.
Austin, a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned that you'd be doing some minor changes to the controller on the Pro to increase the top speed. Have you been able to do that yet?
Yeah, so we're able to do it from all the Pro beta in China. We tested it, and it was the first time that we're experiencing it because we went to the controller factory before, during our trip, while the Pro was being assembled. So they made the change at the controller factory. We got to our assembly factory, and it was like, damn, it's a lot. There's a lot more torque. So yeah, it's the difference is insane, and that's what we were trying to do just before this call, is to flash the firmware on the unit that we have here. It's not the one from China. The one from China is air shipping right now. But yeah, we're able to do it. How much more? I don't know. It's just a feeling now. Feeling wise, it went from really fast to insanely fast.
The acceleration curve just basically doesn't level off. I think that's the best way to describe it. Before, like 0 to 30, it was really fast, and then 30 to 50 kilometers per hour was like still accelerating, but it wasn't like ripping your head off kind of thing. And now it just continues to pull all the way to 50, which is as fast as.
And the 0 to 30 feel faster too. It feels more aggressive. So we again, with the whole thing with Segway, I'm really excited to redo the acceleration test and see how close we are.
Granted, we have bigger
tires. We have 12-inch, they have 11-inch, so it's spin faster for acceleration. It's normal. But
cool. So exciting. I guess long story short, Austin will test hopefully today, and if we have any details we can share on Reddit or on the Facebook group, we will. Seat for the Phantom V3?
No, we are not doing a seat for the Phantom V3. Final V3 is the final Phantom, and we are putting all our R&D in the new models after that. We are working on seat, like you saw on the Pro, and the Explorer, the same thing. We have a nice concept for a seat, but not for the Phantom, unfortunately.
What are your thoughts on the secondhand market? Will you be able to send secondhand Apollo scooters to your repair hub? Listen, like with everything that you buy secondhand, just make sure that it's in good condition, that you know what to check for. Something that we could also look into is potentially having your buyer, come into our scooter facility, our repair facility, have them pay for an inspection, and then you'll know basically what you're getting yourself into, so you don't end up with a scooter that's broken or doesn't perform to its expectations. The other thing is that you can also transfer warranty as of recently, so just make sure that you have the original order number and details of the buyer. Share that with us, and we'll be able to transfer the warranty over to you. Would love to see an entry-level kids scooter. Purchased a V3, but nothing cost-effective enough for kids, which is why I have purchased both from Apollo. Would love to see an entry-level kids scooter. Purchased a V3, but nothing cost-effective enough for kids, which I would have purchased. Okay, so I guess the question is, why don't we have a kids entry-level scooter? Limited resources. We're focusing on making 3 amazing scooters for the adult market first, and then I guess maybe Alwa will have kids by the time he finishes. So who knows? He might get into kids scooters after, but no promises. Should the Explorer be classified as a more unique commuter scooter? Maybe a 20 to 25 miles per hour single what? Yeah, so the cheaper version would be single motor. That's a good observation. Do you have any guesses as to what the top speed would be of a single motor 52 volts, 500 watt?
Probably 45, 50 kilometers per hour. High wattage. I think we'd still keep it at 500 because over that you need the controller to push a high amount of discharge, and that's costing money. So it's the same as Duo. But yeah, like Matt said, maybe the Explorer base would be something similar to this. I don't know if I would put the motor in the front. We always put our motors in the back. Good suggestion.
Gonna trade in to buy a new scooter. We're working on it. For now, we're just testing it on a case-by-case basis, but the plan is to have a trade-in program hopefully as early as the end of this year. So as we transition to the new portfolio over the next year, we do want to encourage and incentivize our existing customers to join us in that transition. The training program is a big enabler of that, so stay tuned. Okay, so I read somewhere that Apollo Air is getting an upgrade soon too. Still debating my first Apollo model.
You should buy the Air right now, and all the upgrades are going to be available, and it's going to pretty much make it for the price difference. I wouldn't waste a day of the season of riding. I don't know where you are, James, but yeah, all the upgrades, like everything we release, you can upgrade it yourself. For the handlebar, it's 2 screws and 1 connector, and for the stem, it's a bit more complicated. There's 1 big screw, but we're going to be offering the spanner wrench. And if you don't want to do it, you can go to the repair center. They're going to do it for you.
Chris, is there going to be another round of beta testers for the Pro? If not selected, will there be a discount for people who volunteered for the beta program that weren't selected? I don't think there will be another wave of beta testing for the Pro. We're pretty much at the limit already. There is an exciting announcement, which we'll be sharing next week, regarding when the Pro is opening up for pre-orders. And we will be offering one-time launch discounts. So if you have not been selected and you are still interested in the Pro, stay tuned. Next week, we'll be revealing when it's launching for pre-orders. Hint, hint, it's soon. And there will be some great deals available for everyone who's been a part of this journey with us. Excited for the City Pro. Can't wait to receive the email that my alpha is ready to go. Great. We're excited to have you with us, Mark. It's going to be an amazing scooter, really. We still have issue of battery percentage. It does not update when I decrease. It still jumps massively. Isn't BMS supposed to constantly update battery level?
That's not a battery issue. The BMS, first thing, that's not a battery issue. Second thing, your BMS is not connected to the controller because it's not a smart BMS. It's called voltage sag, SAG, and that's just normal with all batteries. If you are having doubt, do a ride from 100% to 0% and record it. And we're going to get all the data in the backend. So when you reach out to CX, they're going to be able to tell. Our dashboard is made that if you have a problem, it's going to be red and it's going to tell the agent. So do this, reach out, and we're going to let you know.
Cool. Will Apollo come up with an e-bike in the future? We would like to, but like we just said, we're focusing pretty exclusively on scooters for now. There's so much work for our small team, and like I said, our resources are really limited. So we're investing in these 3 models, and I think hopefully, if all goes well, by next year we have availability in the R&D team, capacity, I should say, in the R&D team, to move on to other projects. If you have any suggestions for what kind of an e-bike you'd be interested in, let us know. We're always ears and happy to take your recommendations. Looking for like an accessory that basically adds LED lighting strips to the Phantom. Any thoughts on that?
There's someone that did it for the city on the group, the Facebook group. So maybe just look into the picture and look the kit that they bought. But super cool. It looked like the light on the Pro. It looked like Subi light. So I would just do external battery pack and a double-sided adhesive layer and just put it on the stem. But Apollo won't make a kit for that, that's for sure. But yes, it would be cool.
All right. Apollo Pro production is pretty much completed or about to be completed?
Yeah, we are just tweaking one last thing. We're going to be publishing a video of the V6 walkthrough on Sunday, and you're going to see there. You see the unit, the semi-assembled. Now they're all assembled. So again, I'm just tweaking one last thing, and they are pretty much ready to go. So ETA, I don't know, a month and 2 weeks from now, maybe.
We're at the 26th of May today, so let's say they ship out end of next week. Realistically, probably 30 days to arrive. So they're arriving, first week of July. So probably mid-July, I think is a realistic timeline for deliveries. Yeah. And we'll keep you updated if there are any delays. Air Mini, that would be a perfect scooter, $400, 50 miles per hour with adjustable height handlebars for the scooter to grow with the kid. That's an interesting suggestion. Cool.
The Mini, we did the other version in China. We tested another one. I did 5 versions at this point of the Mini, and we were still debating. I don't think I'll ever do adjustable stem. I just hate it. We were riding the new light next to the Mini, and we always liked the Mini. It was always nice. But after riding the new light, there's no way we can release the Mini. So we're going to invest our time in something a bit higher end that really feels great. And if you want a cheap scooter at $400, there's a major player like NIU or Segway that have great alternative for this. And then you can upgrade to the Apollo. We saw some kids scooter, like really the short one. So
it's a very different market, right? Yeah. And I think you start playing with plastic a lot more, and that's not really what we are super familiar with. We're much more familiar with like vehicle grade materials. One thing that's maybe interesting to ask all the viewers is if our new light that will be available next summer is a dual motor scooter at what, the $1,200 I think USD, we said $1,200 USD. Dual motor, 36 volt, 15 AH. Those are the rough specs. And it comes with some of the cool connected smart features of all the other scooters. Would you be interested in having us make an ultra lightweight scooter, probably a little bit less in performance, likely what, single motor? Say $700, $800 type of price point, 10H battery max. Would that be of interest if we could really get the weight under 15 kilos? Let us know. It's a debate we're having internally if that's something we should be doing, or maybe moving on to a Pro Mini or a bike or something else.
Swappable battery for the City Pro, no. the frame is not built for that. It would require a whole redesign, and I would not redesign the whole city. I'm going to do something else instead.
Chef JTH, when are the Phantom V3s shipping? So I think they're arriving in about 2.5 weeks. So we're expecting them to ship out by mid-June. So yeah, apologies for the delay there. We are working as fast as we can to get them out to you. It'll be worth the wait. It's an amazing scooter. Do you have anyone in Australia that will be testing the Apollo Pro? I think just our dealers, basically. Yeah. So if you want to reach out to Electric Kicks and Scooter Hut and just let them know that you're desperate to see the Apollo Pro, I'm sure that'll put a little bit of pressure on them to place an order, and then you can get it from them. So everyone wins. V3.
And no other upgrade will be done. Correct. No other upgrade will be done on the V3.
Cool.
Yeah, it would. From Marvin, it would be nice to have a battery holder at the back of the stem for the second battery on the Explorer instead of carrying it in the backpack. Yes. Again, like I said, I'm so afraid of the Segway thing with their E2 like that they had. The Aerius 2, it was garbage. But yeah, it would be nice. And maybe like a second, it comes like with a connector that you plug. I don't know. But yeah, a rack to carry the other battery, and that would definitely be nice. So great suggestion. Thank you.
At a correction for the previous answer, it's just Electric Kicks that's likely going to be stocking the Apollo Pro, not Scooter Hut, sorry.
No, you cannot. From Marc-André, for the Apollo, can we turn off wireless charging, or it's always on? It's always on when you drop your phone on it. So if the scooter is off, of course it's not charging. If the phone is not on the wireless charger, it's not charging. Tire pressure monitor function. From Hans, somebody thinking about a tire pressure monitor function. The problem with this is we have too many Bluetooth connection right now to your phone. So you have the speaker being connected to the phone, you have the controller connected to the phone. It's already two. Some people have a watch on top of that. Your phone cannot handle all of this. And if we have too many Bluetooth connection, when you accelerate, you'll see the speed of the app jumping. So no, it's not doable for now. It would be nice, but it's not.
Okay, guys, rapid fire, because then there are still a few questions we've received before the show. So super fast. How many beta testers are there in total? 150. Is the 2023 upgrade for the City Pro 2022 still on the July target? Yes, it is. Understood. Fantastic. Ultra lightweight. Perfect, John Lee. Built-in SIM card GPS tracker would be awesome. Will reduce chances. Yes. Perfect.
The Pro and Explorer have GPS IoT.
And we're looking at making it compatible with the Lite potentially too, but it's still up to be determined if we're going to be able to do it. High speed, it took me 2.5 months to get my, okay, cool, perfect. So let's move on to the other questions that were previously submitted. So the first question from Hot Celebration. Is that Chrome Pro really going to be an option someday?
I don't know. Let us know if you want us. We just need enough people to say that they want it and do it in advance. It is really cool. That's going to be mine, the Chrome Pro.
We would do it at launch, I think, as like a launch exclusive. But I mean, you had some hesitations about the Chrome paint, right? Like
yeah, well, the problem with the Chrome is you see every little imperfection on it. Like yeah, so even the one that were handmade, there was a little bit of scratch on it. So if people can live with that, sure. I think we're looking more into different color, like the Chrome. Maybe it's every time we're releasing a new model, there's always going to be like a couple Chrome. Maybe we're going to select some people that like are going to get it, but yeah, that's it.
Question for the Pro: is it possible to deactivate? I think we just talked about that, so no. I have a question, but I'm not sure it's something you want to tackle and answer. Okay. Okay, so recent post about the Apollo Pro. It didn't seem to go over well on one of the subreddits. A lot of people, like Segway supporters, had a very positive opinion of Segway, complained that the post sounded condescending or that the comparison was unfair. Just wondering if you wanted to respond to these allegations. In general, I thought the comparison was mostly fair. Okay. Yeah, so like we said before, essentially, a lot of the criticism, I think, was revolving around the fact that people thought we had never tried a Segway GT2, which is not true. We both have tried Segways, and in particular the GT2 model. We've also tried the Apollo Pro, which cannot be said for anyone else on that Reddit thread. So I think we do have a pretty unique point of view, having tried both scooters and understanding what their respective strengths and weaknesses are. It is true that the Pro is not as quick to accelerate as the GT2, and the main reason that we wanted to share that was because we very early on decided not to make a bullet scooter, but a scooter that's really well rounded. And that's why we use the analogy of a Lamborghini being the GT2, which is really, really good at one thing, which is just pure acceleration and speed, and more of a Rolls-Royce kind of, Mercedes, Maybach, maybe type of analogy for the Pro, because it's still a good machine. It still performs and pulls really, really well, but it's also incredibly comfortable. You're also getting the latest and most recent cutting edge technology. You're also getting, this is the only consumer scooter that has built-in IoT, with the exception of Ike, right? So there are a lot of firsts with that scooter. And yes, we may have not mentioned the dual motor 1500 watt versus 1200 watt difference. By the way, wattage calculations are pretty much exclusively bullshit. So whatever the brands tell you, don't ever believe them. It's a completely subjective calculation that nobody really is able to verify or validate.
With the Phantom, we were able to pull 4,500 watt per motor in the peak. So it's worth what it's worth. Yeah.
So all to say, we don't really put much weight on wattage ratings. I think the most fair comparison there is really just trying to take both scooters and measure them or time them in their acceleration from 0 to 30 miles per hour. And that's exactly what we're going to do and get back to you. And then with regards to the KERS, it's a feature that's available in beta for now. So it doesn't seem fair to compare to something that's going to be a stock or standard feature on the Apollo Pro. When it is available on the GT2, fantastic, we'll acknowledge it then. Until then, it's very difficult for us to comment on its effectiveness. We've been using the Regen Brake for a year and a half now, 2 years almost. We're the first brand to really introduce it to 48 volt, 52 volt, and 60 volt scooters. So it does feel like we have a fair bit of experience and we know how effective it is. So like I said, until we get a fair shot at testing that on the Segway front, we'll not really know what we're comparing ourselves to. That said, I think, we just had a team meeting 2 days ago when we went over our visit. And I think, as Alwa just said, having seen so many factories, so many component suppliers, so having tried so many scooters, the Pro is unlike anything else. We've never seen or felt or tried a scooter that handles as luxuriously as the Pro, that offers as seamless of an experience as the Pro, that is just as beautiful as the Pro. And obviously we're a little bit biased, but we do hope that when those scooters eventually arrive to the beta users, beta participants, and eventually after that to all the early backers, you'll understand why we feel so passionate about this model, because it truly is unlike anything else. Anything else to add?
Well, you don't see Segway going on Facebook and sharing all the updates. I feel like just that alone, being that proximity to the engineering team, the people owning the company, it's worth something. I feel like you see how implicated we are. So, yeah.
The walkthrough that you guys are going to see that gets published on Sunday was recorded in the middle of the night. We were in 33-degree heat, sweating buckets, and still wanted to record that video at I think 3 a.m, just so we could share that update with you. And I think, as we said on the ESG podcast a little while ago, I'm sure Segway is a company that cares about their customers, but I can guarantee to everyone listening that they don't care nearly as much as the two people sitting right in front of you right now. This truly is Elwha's child in scooter form. So yeah, I don't know how much more we could try and reassure you and convince you that this is the best work we've ever done, period. Next question. The Apollo Explorer reveal seems to have mixed reactions. I think the 2 points of controversy are the dual deck platform. Mixed opinions on this, as some claim that having feet side by side gives riders less stability when it comes to accelerating braking. And then the second one is the battery capacity, 8Ah. And then how are you getting it to a higher top speed?
Yeah, for stability, addressed it. Again, I wouldn't be doing a scooter that is not stable. I guess people will have to try it to see. And yeah, everyone commenting on Reddit, they never tried one. The only one out there are Tor and the one from Pure. Pure is not delivered. Tor, they have like 20 units out there. That scooter, and they're not nearly as stable as the Explorer. It's a fantastic scooter. That's more stable than anything else we ever made. For me personally, even more than the Pro. So that's giving you an idea. It is stable. That's definitely not an issue. And about the battery, well, that's what we could fit inside to be compact. It was 8 Ah, so that's why we went with 52 volt to have more watt hour. So we're gonna do the bump, and again, if we put 2 batteries, which are still lightweight, well, you're gonna be at 26 Ah. So it's almost the battery of the Pro. So yeah, that's it for the Explorer. And no, we never launched a model that was not creating a controversy. Even the Apollo City, when we launched it, people were flipping about the name. So we're used to it, and this is the best reaction we've got so far of any launch. So I'm actually pretty happy about it.
Yeah, it was really it exceeded our expectations to get 7,000 views in the first day. So thank you for tuning in. I know we're over time, but the engagement has been amazing today. So we're just going to take the last couple of questions. Andral, we're also glad to have made it back from China and not been the next to Michael's. So yeah, I think we're all pretty happy about that. Kyle, amazing. Thanks for the positive feedback. We'll keep the videos coming. Is it possible to have the 23Ah battery upgraded on the Ghosts?
You can. In theory, you can, if you find someone that's going to make you a battery pack, you can fit a 23Ah with LG cell, LG MH1. IoT, no, it's not going to be with the V3. It just won't. That's it. Like we said, we're done upgrading the Phantom after. Better from DXN, better still if we can use LG Samsung 21700 battery will massively increase the range. That's already what we use in all our models. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Okay, couple Mike. Mike, a huge reason I wanted the Pro was because of the amount of info, that communication about your product that your team was providing on it. I wanted something better than the boosted rev, and you delivered. Thank you, Mike. Same battery pump we saw on the Flamingo. Yes, actually, yes, that's exactly that battery. Yeah, the Flamingo, we took the V2 was design of the Explorer.
And, good observation, eh?
Yeah, it's going to be that battery pump, yes. Exactly my thought. Thanks, guy. Keep up the good work.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. We do appreciate the questions. And if there are any other topics you want us to go over, feel free to reach out. Next week, we're talking about the Pro V6. It's dropping on Sunday. We're going to reveal some additional information like the testing that we mentioned over the course of next week. Hopefully, we have the Chrome sample to show you next week as well. That'll be really, really exciting, but no promises. Depends on how long it takes for it to get here. Otherwise, yeah, stay tuned. And for anyone in Montreal, tonight, this afternoon, actually, we're doing an event at our repair facility. So swing by if you have nothing else to do. 4 p.m. starts. We're going to be showing the Pro V6. So if you've never tried one, this is your opportunity. And we hope to see as many of you there as possible. All right. Take care, everyone.